Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. You know, recently I did a video about some terminal tackle items that I really like, and it got very good feedback. I also recently did a video on a bunch of baits that just didn't cut it for me. You know, I had much higher expectations, and I wanted to share that with you to see, A, if you guys have caught fish on those baits, which means maybe I need to give them another shot, or B, maybe potentially you will save you a couple extra bucks because you're not going to go out and buy those baits. So the intent here really was to, just pass on my information to you and my experience with those baits, as well as that terminal tackle. So when I did the terminal tackle video on some of the items I can't live without, I got the same question from viewers asking me if there were terminal tackle items that I don't like. And I definitely do. You know, I'm always buying various terminal tackle items because I truly believe they're one of the most important things that we use when bass fishing. One tiny little piece of terminal tackle, whether it's a swivel, your split rings, whatever it is, that can make such a big difference with respect to the technique that you're fishing. So I wanted to share with you a handful of items that just did not cut it for me from a terminal tackle perspective. Get your feedback on it. Maybe you guys have some items you want to leave in the comment section that you were disappointed in. Maybe you disagree with the items that I'm talking about here and you've had much better experiences with them. So by all means, please leave a comment in the comment section letting me know if you think I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you've got some items that you want to share with us. Also, if you want to support the channel, please do your tackle shopping using my Tackle Warehouse affiliate link. Every little bit that comes from that comes right back to the channel to produce content like this for you. So let's talk about our items. The first one that I'm going to talk about here is called the Little Anthony Slider swim bait head. I'll show you a different one. Well, this is the same one, different size. So this is made by Phoenix Baits, and it's put out there as a swim bait head to be used in hollow belly swim baits, potentially on tube baits. There's several different things that they mention that you can use this head for. So I bought it thinking that it would be great with my swim baits, hollow belly swim baits. I like the fact that it was an internally weighted item. So what you do is you take this head and you slide it into the bait, and therefore you get your hook, your swim bait hook in the swim bait itself. The issue I have with this, after getting it and doing a little bit of research on it, this head is sold by them as a separate swim bait head to use in various baits. It was actually created though for a swim bait where they pour this inside of a plastic swim bait. I think it's called the Anthony swim bait. So the problem I have with this is when I get this and try to insert it in here, you can insert it in, but the way the weight is positioned, and this is a 7-inch Bass Tricks, there's plastic all the way up to about the eye. So when I put this hook in, it's gonna sit about like that in the bait. So from that standpoint, to me, it doesn't allow this bait to run right. I want my hook eye up closer to the nose so that I can get a better swimming action out of it. It just doesn't fit this bait well. I've tried it on several other baits and it just does not fit. So I'm a little frustrated with it because it was portrayed as a bait to use with hollow belly swim baits or your tube jigs, various different things. And in reality, I have yet to find something for it to work well in. And they built it specifically for a poured custom swim bait. So it may work great in that because it was designed for that. I have not found that it works very well with my hollow belly swim baits. So this is the original Little Anthony Slider swim bait hook made by Phoenix Baits. Doesn't mean it's a bad hook. It just doesn't, I think it's kind of misleading when you look at it like on a Tackle Warehouse link, because it says it's really made for all these different techniques, but in reality it was made for a specific custom swim bait that they produced, and I wish they would have just kept it with that because I bought several packs of them and will not be using them. So that was the first item. The next one is, we'll just go with this Freedom Tackle peg. Now, I like to peg my baits. I've talked about this before. I think there's a time and place for bobber stops if you're using a Texas rig. The problem I have with these Freedom Peggets, or these weight pegs, is the top of them are very, very large compared to others. Now, they do have a little slot, I don't know if you can see it, for the line to come up and through, but that's because the head is so large. So when I put this just on a standard bullet weight, this is a 3/8 ounce tungsten weight, I don't like how far that hangs over the side. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's just a very large head to the rubber peg in itself. And I realize the line's supposed to slide up into that slot, is my assumption. But in reality, I just don't know why it's that large. I find that it catches grass and it doesn't come through the grass as well, especially if you're fishing somewhere that has a mossy bottom. I feel like I'm always picking moss out of that. And that to me is frustrating. So, for something that's so simple, I was not satisfied when I got these. So that's another piece of terminal tackle that I can't say I'm overly happy with. The next is, you guys know for a long time, if you watch the channel, that I've been looking for a really good weedless wacky rig hook. And I've tried almost all of them. One of the ones that I feel like I was totally sold on by marketing was this VMC weedless NACO hook. And what I mean by that is a lot of the top anglers out there were promoting this as the best one on the market. I got to tell you, I think this is the one that I was most disappointed in. And there's a couple of reasons. And it just comes down to the weed guard. So I'm going to pull, this is a brand new pack. Look at every one of these. If you look at it, hopefully you can see it. The weed guard is not even above the hook. So in every one of these, I have to reposition it. Now, if I take one of these out, so you can see it more closely, that's what everyone looks like when I pull it out. So I get it. I'm supposed to raise that up and play with it. The problem is I find that in almost every case, they're just not sturdy enough. So I pulled it up, but they want to go back into that position they were at. So to me, this was just an item that I don't even feel like is any more weedless than a bare hook. Like, I was very, very disappointed in this. And I think a lot of it just came down to the fact that I feel like I was very much sold by a lot of the good marketing that we have out there. So maybe you guys have different examples. I know there were some of you out there that when I was asking for what weedless wacky rig hooks you guys like to use, there were people that said they liked that. I personally think that was one of the worst ones I used. The hook is great. The hook is sharp. It's a very good hook. VMC makes great hooks. I just don't like the concept and the way that that's rigged. I don't think it didn't do much for me. So the last piece I've got here for you goes back to kind of that NACO style setup, the technique. I really like to use nail weights. And one of the things that really drives me nuts with nail weights, and this isn't just one specific thing. I've got a couple of examples here. This is the VMC. They call this the half moon wacky weight. I've got some here. I think these, I don't recall. I'm not even going to mention it because I don't remember. But here's the issue. And there's a lot of ones that make these. So this is a nail weight where you're supposed to insert it. Let me grab a worm. So they want you to take it and just insert it into the worm, and then you've got the weight on the end. Okay, well, that's fine and dandy, but I can't tell you the number of times I cast this off. That thing just rips out of there all the time. And I realize, you've got some stacked cones that are holding it, but I would say it's like every fish I catch, I lose a weight. If I don't catch a fish, it's like every 20th cast, I feel like I throw the weight out. So to me, this big ball, that big lead ball on the end that sticks out of the NACO worm is not a good concept. I think you're much, much better off going with either a nail weight that's inserted in, or one of the pieces of terminal tackle I said I really liked were these threaded nail weights. to me, that just stays in so much better, so much better. So that concept of the big ball that's kind of shoved on the end of your NACO rig worm does not cut it for me. So there's some items for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you want me to do more like this, I can continue to do it. I am by no means trying to, you know, make company products look bad. These are products that just didn't cut it for me. And I'm trying to give my justification as to why. You know, not every product that hits the market is a great product, in my opinion, at least for my type of fishing. So guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and stay tuned. We'll have a new video tomorrow for you.